How's it going, man? I made a video like this more than a year ago where I just sat down, little editing, no script, just an idea of a powerful concept that I've seen after thousands of marriages. When a man gets it down, when he truly masters it, how it shifts the way their wife feels about them every single time. And I'm making a whole video about it because not only is it one of the most powerful concepts, but it's one of the hardest to understand. Now, I'll link the video at the end of this one I did a year ago on letting go, the law of detachment, how that gets her coming back. But today, you can tell from the title, if I put it in the title, today's about radical responsibility or extreme ownership. I've given it both names on the channel. I'm going to share with you what it is, why it's so hard for men to fully understand, why it's so powerful in getting her back and shifting the way she feels, and then how to do it, okay? So what is the idea of extreme ownership? At the end of the day, reality is negotiable. If you're an empiricist, if you are very logical and you think that when a tree falls in a forest and no one's there to hear it, it still makes a sound, I get your perspective, but I disagree. So if you can suspend that judgment just for this video and just try to hear me out, okay, that reality is subjective. For example, who are you, right? The way your mother views you, the way I would view meeting you, the way a stranger would, the way your wife right now, it's all negotiable, right? Yeah, we can look at you and say, yeah, you look this way, but your personality, your values, and who you are as a man is negotiable. Much in the same way, how she views you is negotiable. Not just from her, how you view yourself and how she views you, but from her now to her a year ago to her in the future. And so I say this because when it comes to extreme ownership, whose fault it is for what happened right now, the mess you're in, call it a mess, that's negotiable too. I think it's actually a gift. The situation you're in right now is negotiable in terms of who created it. Is it 50-50, 75, 80-20, whatever it is? Like, what is the balance? It's negotiable. You can't actually objectively measure who's more at fault. And you have to get yourself out of that logical mind because that form of thinking is what's keeping you stuck, okay? So if you can buy into this first principle, this first premise, that when it comes to your marriage right now, the situation you're in, is it more her fault, your fault? I was gonna curse, but drop it, okay? Stop thinking that way. Instead, I want you to think in terms of what you control, okay? What do you control? You control your behavior. That's it. That's it. So when looking at the reasons for why you're in the mess you're in, you must stop looking for reasons outside of yourself. Even if it's true that she's a human being with autonomous action, she's not perfect. I know this. I focus on you because I want you to grow. I want you to change because ultimately that's what gets her back. So whenever you hear that part of you, your ego, which we're going to talk about more in a second, when you hear that part of you say, well, yeah, but this about her, and she yelled at me, and she did this, but women who do this are this, and fair, but that doesn't help you, does it? Let's use an example. Let's say your wife, I get this all the time. Josh, my wife found out that she's an avoidant. She has been diagnosed by a therapist that she has avoidant attachment style. Fearful avoidant. Let's go even further, right? Which is disorganized. It's the worst attachment style. She took a test. She has that. And I've read, by the way, you can replace that with depression, bipolar, narcissism, menopause, whatever it is. I read that if she's that thing, then you just can't connect with them. So you never connected with your wife before? Like, what do you say? You know what I mean? Like, okay. If you know anything about attachment style, which I know a little bit, when someone feels safe, they're secure. Now, of course, a human being can make themselves feel safe, but I argue that women oftentimes feel safe when they're safe with the man they're with. And of course, she's being avoidant. That's her old MO, but she's only being that way because she feels unsafe. Now, why does she feel unsafe? You. You. Okay, now, this video isn't for the light of heart of a guy who, if he wants like a soft pill of truth, I'm not going to give that. I'm going to give a hard, bitter pill of truth. I'm not going to lace it with sugar of lies and I'll pat you on the back. It's not your fault. You know what I mean? I want you to get what you want. I want your wife back, your family. So okay. So that's what extreme ownership is. It's owning your part. It's sitting down and saying to yourself, like, how is this my fault? Let's look from her perspective. Now here's a caveat for you. Men who have shame, which a lot of men do. Everyone does to some degree. Men who have guilt, that's an emotional pattern. What they'll do when they hear of this extreme ownership is they'll attach the things they did with shame and with guilt. And they'll feel bad about themselves. Don't do that. You can divorce, sorry for the language, but you can separate yourself from the shame and the guilt from the things that you've done. And here's how you do it. You look at it and you say, I'm going to apply wisdom. I'm going to inject wisdom onto that event. Wisdom is a memory without emotion. So you could say, I did these things and I forgive myself. Because did anyone teach you that was wrong? Did you know that your wife felt unsafe when you tried to solve her problems or when you didn't lead all the... No, I didn't learn this until years of doing this. So look at those things. Recognize the impact. Forgive yourself, okay? That's how you learn. But you don't learn. And she especially doesn't know that you've changed if you defend yourself. If you say, yeah, I did those things, but you did this and I wouldn't have done that if you didn't do this. I feel that all the time, okay? I get that. And this is your ego. Let's talk about the ego. The ego says, I don't like feeling uncomfortable. I don't like change. In fact, I'm going to go to an extreme here. And I say extreme, but it's really not an extreme. Your ego feels like dying when it's changing. Your self-concept, who you think you are, will fight to the ends of the earth, will kill to keep itself intact. What do you think wars over religion are? Look what's happening in the political landscape. Oh, my values are wrong? Like, I'm not going to go there, but that's the ego. So of course it applies individually in your marriage. Oh, I'm a narcissist, or I'm this, or I didn't see you, or you didn't appreciate me. That's the ego defending. But the paradox is that the more you feel right, justified, and trying to make yourself feel safe in your own self-concept, the more you're pushing her away. Because what does it convey to her? You're not gonna change. Extreme ownership hurts. It hurts because it says, maybe I'm flawed. Maybe I do need to work on myself. That takes energy. That's scary. I don't want to change. If you don't want to change, you can do the same thing, be the same person. This is why the divorce rate is higher and higher the more marriages happen, because the person's not changing. I mean, it's in statistics, you know? But the guys who get their wife back, they change. I mean, if you see some of their first calls with guys and then they save their marriage, I see the same face, but I'm talking to a different man, okay? The ego, that's the enemy. The voice that says, but she should have. That's not your friend. That's a placater. That's someone who's trying to keep you the same. That's a party that's trying to project, okay? It's like, imagine you had like a brother or a friend that's like, yeah, but your wife, man, man, if my wife did... I hear guys with their friends, like, or their brothers or other people in their ear saying like, they have no expertise in this. If that was me, if my wife did that, I would leave her in a heartbeat. Oh, you would? They're not the one going through the battle you're going through. They have positive intentions, don't they? But extreme ownership means going back to these past situations, okay? You're seeing a pattern in yourself. She's been pointing out patterns to you. Maybe not, some women are very smart, some wives are very smart, and they'll say exactly what the pattern is, but her criticisms have a theme to them because there are parts of you that have been developed over time that at the time when you were younger, you needed to develop those parts to stay safe, to survive. Let's talk about the prototypical nice guy. For a lot of guys that are nice guys, you know, the guys that don't share their feelings, that don't share their opinions, that are malleable in their values to get what they want. I know for myself, growing up, if I expressed my strong opinions, I would get in a fight with my brother. It was my brother, not my dad. For many guys, it's their dad. So I was like, well, it's not worth sharing my opinion. I have to literally fight physically and yell at my brother if I had to express my opinion. That's not worth it. I'm gonna be small. I'm gonna hide. It's not worth it, okay? So I carried that part of me in future relationships. I didn't share my opinion in relationships. I didn't want to go towards conflict. I was terrified of conflict. I remember one time I was working with people who were domestic violence and anger abuse, you know, people who got in like fights all the time, right? A lot of anger issues, a lot of aggression, thrown into the fire. Man, one time these two guys got in a fight and I had to yell at them to stop. That gave me a trauma response. I remember calling my mentor after. I was shaking, crying, because I saw two other guys fight. It wasn't even me. I remember one time we would in my neighborhood, we would play these sports, and there was like a leader of our neighborhood, and every like baseball season we play baseball, basketball season we play basketball. Then one season we decided to box. He got in his mind that we were going to box, and I got paired up with a kid that was my height and my weight, and he was my friend. And when I was punching him, he's punching me, I started crying. I didn't want to hurt my friend, right? That's how terrified I was of conflict. So of course it carried into relationships. And I didn't realize it was a problem until I was in grad school and we're in a circle with other grad students doing group therapy. And of course, my mentor at the time, genius wizard, I go to stop these people from fighting. And it was so subtle. He's like, Josh, why are you stopping them? I was like, well, they don't want to argue. And he turns to the two students, these two women, and they were like, do you guys feel upset that you're arguing? They're like, no, I yell at my sister like this. You see what I mean? So for you, there are parts of yourself that she's been pointing out to, that she's been trying to show you as a gift. Hey, dummy, this thing, don't do it. I'm trying to connect with you. But your ego's like, no, I have to hold on to this thing. It kept me alive. It kept me safe. I can't go into conflict. You'll abandon me. But really what's happening is that when you avoid conflict, that's what's causing her to abandon you. It's like this growth you developed and it's just pushing her away. You have to recognize that when she gets upset, there's validity. That maybe she didn't deliver it the best way because she's not a trained therapist. Maybe your wife is, and some wives are. But if you can see behind the pattern of that and then own up to it and have awareness around that and then convey that ownership to her. Many men are terrified that, if I really own up to this thing, then she'll be like, yep, see, I knew it. That's a lie. It's not like that. Now, how do we own up to this? You're going to go through at least 3 to 5 major arguments, fights, moments that cause disconnect between the two of you. Try to have a bird's eye view of it as much as you can. Maybe imagine another couple playing your roles, but you're going to look at these events and instead of seeing what she did to you to hurt you, put yourself in her perspective. Put yourself in her eyes, looking at you in that image. And then write down, what was it in me that was pushing her away? Did I shut down? Did I get angry? Did I say that one thing that pushed her button? Was I mean? You know what I mean? Like, even though at the time you feel like it was that you deserved to do that, that she deserved to receive that from you because of what she did first or whatever it was, shift that perspective. When you do this, nothing more than anything shows her that you're changing. When it's authentic, not only will this impact your life positively with her in every domain. If you remove the victim consciousness from yourself, that you are here for a reason, everything you do is because of you. It sounds almost like you're being omnipotent. You're not. It's like it can simultaneously be true that God, is guiding your life and you're also creating everything. It's a paradox. But if you stop making excuses, if you own up to everything in your life, not only will your marriage improve, your relationships, you'll be less stressed out. You'll be seen as a leader. People will naturally gravitate toward you. That's what radical responsibility is. And I want that for you, as hard as it is, okay? And like I said before, I have a video at the end of this one sharing the letting go a lot of attachment. And if you need support with this, click the link down below, set up a free call with our team. Just make sure you're fully committed and ready to make a change. And we'll support you in becoming that man. Thanks for watching.